We've been making a transition in this series from parts that change as little as possible to parts that move in step with the chord of the moment, and to do the latter most effectively, we'll use the scale that we talked about in the last episode to tell us the notes in each chord, and then we'll play those notes to reinforce their harmony. It's fair to point out that we might want to reinforce the harmony of the chord of the moment because we like the sound. We might feel extra encouraged to do that since so many of the songs that we play are expressed in some sort of chord chart, and a chord chart can sometimes make us feel like the only right thing to play is the chords as written. Now, it's true that we can always play the notes of the chords that are going on, but limiting things to only playing those notes is the unnecessary part. We'll get into that more down the line. Here's how you build a chord. We'll start with the same 7-note pattern that starts on C that we've been using. We'll pick a starting note. Let's go with C this time. We're going to grab that note, but then skip the second note D, grab the third note E, skip the fourth note F, and grab the fifth note C. This will give us a 3-note chord of the first, third, and fifth degrees from where we started. Let's try the same thing on D. We'll start on D, skip E, grab F, skip G, and grab A. That gives us a 3-note chord that sounds like this. Let's start from G. We'll start with G, skip A, grab B, skip C, and grab D. It'll give us a 3-note chord that sounds like this. Here's how each of these chords sound in root position against a track. When we use this Pickin and Skippin process the way we are, we end up with 3-note chords that we call triads. And you actually already know why they're falling into place the way that they are, because they're a direct result of the whole half pattern that we've talked about earlier. The scale and the chords they create are all a result of this pattern. We're going to be using that pattern whether we know it or not. Building chords using the whole half pattern of steps as our guide is going to cause some notes in some chords to land further away from the root note than in others. You might have heard the terms major and minor in music as a reference to happy sounds and sad sounds. That's not totally useless, but it's really a reference to the distance, the gap between notes. For example, the third tone in every chord is either going to land as a 2-whole step major third or a 1.5 step minor third. All triads are basically a root, a third to give the chord some personality, and then a fifth to round things out. It's kind of like the root is your protein, the fifth is your starchy base, and the third is the sauce that you pour on all of it at one of those build your own bowl type of places. Like the shapes that we've talked about previously, we can pull a slightly different personality from these triads or fit them into different registers by inverting them. In fact, you might have heard of ideas like the cage system, which is built from the understanding that all triad inversions end up looking like 3-string sections of the 6-string open chords of C, A, G, E, and D. Now, you can use the cage system or ignore it if you want, but inversions are cool either way, and here's how they sound in a track. Next time, we'll reimagine a trusted chord from a new perspective. But for now, you can find up to 30 pages of PDF accompaniment, as well as backing tracks and a way to book a lesson with me through the link in this video's description. We'll see you next time.